Y'all better be so proud of me, or else you better be. You have to. I say so, so you gotta. You better be proud of me, because ooh, that's why. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for redeeming ooh. I just took a pill, and I didn't choke on it, and it didn't get stuck in my throat. Anyway, I thought that takes applause. I deserve applause for that. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Except not really, though. When am I not? What? You can't say that stuff. It's too early for that. Anyway, hello, how you doing? Did anyone redeem first? Kyle did redeem first. Oh my god, I didn't even see it. Comics, what are you saying? Why are you doing that? Are you okay? Rox, it's good to see you as well. Favlam, hello. Katie, thank you so much for subbing for, oh my goodness, tier 2 for 8 months. I really do appreciate that. 8 months of subbing. Holy crap, Katie. Love you lots. Kato's doing a lurk while they shower. Hope they do not fall in the shower. Please be careful. Kerbelly, good to see you as well. I will never say that sentence. Never gonna happen. Bonnie and Kagan, hello to you both. Bonnie, if you have to be leaving or something, get out of here. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's too nice. It's too nice. My goodness gracious. Thank you guys for the claps. I appreciate it. Clear, thank you for redeeming Uwu before even saying hello. How are you? Aw, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, I appreciate you very much, Bonnie. Thank you very much for saying hi. Hello. Airden, how you doing? Good to see you as well. Did you see the new emote Kirsty had while you were there? I didn't. I did not see it. Hi, Zach. How you doing? Good to see you. Comics, what was the new emote? I didn't know. Also, by the way, I did input the 2 that you just made into the Discord, and I also put them into FFC, so by next stream they should be working. If you didn't see, Lime Unless is in the Discord, and Lime Boom. I put Lime Boom instead of Lime Bomb. I didn't want to see that one. That's... Oh, wait, no, I know what that is. I know what that is, and I hate it. It's disgusting. Oh, goodness gracious. Gross, gross, gross. All right, guys, I need to do one thing. I need to pull up Chrome on the side, just in case I need to Google anything while we're having these conversations. But how are you doing? Tell me. How are you doing today? Are you any colder than you were yesterday? Hopefully you are cooler than you are yesterday. Because I would be very concerned if you are not. Oh. Hey. Is it Baby Blue? Is that how you pronounce it? Is that how you pronounce your name? Very interesting. Very cool. I hope you're doing well, dude. Thank you so much for coming in and letting us know. That is awesome. I have actually never heard that one before. I've never heard of that micro label on the asexual spectrum. It's very, very cool. For those who don't know, Orchid Sexual is a micro label on the asexual spectrum. It can be used on its own or as an umbrella term, and it's when an individual feels sexual attraction but does not desire a sexual relationship. So that's pretty neat how we have a very, very specific micro label on that. I did not know that. Very, very cool. All right. And with that, I'm going to close Facebook as well, so I don't just have that chilling out here. Yeah, I'm always cool. I know you are, Bonnie. You're always cool. Very, very good. It's my new emote. Finally, an emote to surpass Bog Love. I don't like peepees. It's just, ugh, gross. Gross. That is, yeah, it's super cool. So thank you very much, Baby Blue, for saying it. Sorry I didn't catch you right away. I just had to say hello to everybody first before I lost my train of thought, as my ADHD will make me forget. I do need to thank a lot of people for follows last night. Shiny Wave, Matthew Madness, thank you so much for following after the raid that we did over to Mooshbean's channel. Hope you're doing well. Piece by piece as well. Hey Artemis, Marl Plays, all of you guys. Thank you so much for the follows. I appreciate it. Hope you guys are doing well out there. What is the plan for today? Good question. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I have a plan. The plan is to discuss a little bit of a mental health day because it's Monday and that day's usually very difficult for mental health anyway, so might as well try to help that along a little bit. The hope is to talk about the pandemic and the effects that it might have had on you personally or me personally or as a community. We've got all kinds of things we get to talk about today. It can go in any direction that you want it to. Just as some reminders really quick off the start of this, that you are welcome to engage as much as you want in the conversation or lurk. If you didn't get a chance to talk very much during the identity or sexuality stream, feel free to talk more here, especially if you felt like you didn't really fit into that category enough to talk about it. Well, you fit in here, because this affects everybody. So I would love to hear your opinions and your stories, experiences, anything that you are comfortable sharing. And then the only rules that we have are to just, if something does come up that is like a deeper topic, be careful, first of all, that you are being respectful of the person who is talking. Don't do anything disrespectful in that way. And then also, if something is going to be a topic that would be possibly needing a trigger warning or a content warning, if that ever happens, we'll have to decide it there, or we have to say we can't talk about that right now, just so we don't put anybody else at risk for getting any worse mental health, okay? So those are my only rules as far as this goes. It's pretty much open-ended other than that. I did just take my muscle relaxer before we started, so if I do start to, like, mellow down a little bit. It's not because of you, it's because of me. But I'm going to turn off the theme music and get us some other stuff going. So we have other music on, so you don't hear the same thing for the entire time. But yes, take care of yourself. I'm going to mute the music. Goodbye, music. It's gone. Killed the music. Now I'm going to turn on other music, and you guys just let me know if it's too loud, okay? There it is. Turn it down a little bit. Oh, turn it down too much. Well, let's skip to the middle of the song so we know that it's at a good volume. How's that? Is that a good volume? Is that too loud? I killed the music, I did, but I brought it back. I know, I refused to fade it. I didn't even want to fade it, I just wanted to cut it straight out of there. Well, there you go. But hopefully that sounds okay. If it's too loud, let me know. If it's too quiet, I can bump it up too. Sounds good volume. Thank you very much for letting me know. Okay, cool. Mellow, I dig it. Maybe a touch quiet, but that's perfect. I can always pinch it up just a tiny bit more. Itty bitty bit more. I'd rather have it be a little too quiet than too loud, okay? Music's good volume? I'll leave it be from there. Okay, so to put us into a place that we can start, let's think about how long ago this has been. How long have we been in this situation for? Right now we are coming up to the beginning of August already. We're almost through July. That like went by like that, which is, wow, crazy how fast that stuff moves. I myself started paying attention to when the pandemic started kicking off around end of February, beginning of March of 2020. Yes, not this past March, but the one before that. Okay. So I was down in Oklahoma, for those who don't know. I was finishing up a master's in clarinet down there, and I was also working in the IT department for the School of Music. So I had an office, I had all kinds of stuff that I had down there. I brought like half my life down there with me, and I didn't expect to have to move back really fast, because I thought I had a couple more months left there. We basically have one of the latest spring breaks out of most schools in the country, and because of that, we got affected a little bit weirder by the pandemic than some of you with earlier spring breaks might have had if you were in college at the time. I had a week off, and about like 2 days before the end of our spring break, we got a message from our president that was like, hey, we're just going to extend spring break just a little bit more by a couple more days. You get a little bit more time off, but you do have to start doing a little bit of the schoolwork as well. So teachers, be careful not to assign too much stuff, but, you know, start giving some homework again, like classes have started again. So, you know, I was like, whatever, no big deal. There's this thing going on. It'll pass by. I will just hang out in my office and do a lot more work and just get ahead of schedule. And then I couldn't really get ahead of schedule because the next week I had my boss walk straight into my office where I had like no work the entire day. And he was like, yeah, so we're going to have to lock up for the rest of the year, and I'm going to need you to turn your key in. And I was like, what? He's like, well, it's not so much an extension of the break as well as the break's never going to end. And I was like, oh, okay, so are we just done with school? And he's like, I don't know. I just know that we ourselves are not going to be doing any IT stuff now. So turn in your master key when you get the chance, clean out the office, all that stuff. And I was like, this is really weird, but okay. And then, yeah, it turned out that everything was kicking off really, really hectically across the world. And that's when I started trying to research it more and paying attention to it. Whereas before it just went over my head and I wasn't aware of it. So following that, I had a very, very quick call to my parents. My dad said, that's it, I'm coming down tomorrow to get you because you don't have a ride back. We're packing up all your stuff and you're getting out of there. They're gonna do a bunch of lockdowns. And I was like, this seems like excessive, which most people might have thought that at first. This seems excessive. Why are we in a lockdown? I don't really know what's going on. And so my dad came down and he got me, and I packed up everything there. I left the remainder of my stuff at that apartment to be thrown out, and just didn't say goodbye to anybody. Didn't say goodbye to my studio. I didn't say goodbye to any of the music students, any of the staff, the teachers. I just got up and went. And so I got back at the end of February thinking, okay, well, school's not done. I still have to do all this online work or whatever for the next couple months and take my comprehensive exam so I can get my degree. And it was just a lot. It was a lot right off the bat of just a whirlwind of stuff that came out of nowhere because I wasn't following the news enough to really know what was going on. So that's my experience in terms of how quickly it came to me. And it obviously picked me up and put me someplace else. So that's pretty mind-boggling enough as it is. And that's when all the numbers, as soon as I got home, was where the numbers started being calculated repeatedly on the newscasts, and like you could see these things, graphs and skyrocketing and all this stuff, and it got really, really freaky right off the bat. So I don't know how subtly or not so subtly did it come to you guys. How quickly did it come up where this thing was going on and you had to change everything you were doing at the time? Or was it more a subtle thing that you could kind of just like weave in and out with and be okay with? Hi, Lime. Just popping in to say hi because my Wi-Fi cuts out. I'm sorry to hear that, Dark. No worries. It's okay. I appreciate you dropping in to say hi for a second. Take care. At first, it felt very panicked and excessive. Mostly, I attributed that to the lack of fast, clear, decisive direction from any leadership figures politically. Yes, okay. That is fair. That is very fair. It could have felt very excessive and panicked due to the fact, like they said, they didn't have any sort of clear-cut directions from anybody in power. It was mostly just like, this thing will go away. It'll blow away in a week, So you kind of try to trust who's in charge. But at the time, of course, we had somebody in office that most of us didn't particularly assume, had our best interest in mind. So that doesn't do a whole lot for us, But in the UK, it could be the same thing with Boris Johnson. It just no decisive leadership telling us, you need to be aware of this and you have to be careful. And here's the plan to get it, handled. We didn't have that. So that already attributed to the whole like, wow, this thing came out of nowhere feeling, I think people were a little crazy up front. Nothing changed a ton for me since I was already working from home, but I recall people jumping on paper towels and toilet paper. The toilet paper thing, that was a big thing. Yeah, very, very, very well. Oh, Timid, I'm so glad to hear that, dude. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for dropping by to let me know. Work bosses held off till the last minute because we travel a ton for work. Yeah, you're like out and about all the time. We finally went to work from home from end of March, and they were reluctant. Felt very drown out of a start for me. That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I don't envy your position because you had a lot going on with that. Something similar for Flam. It's basically at college and we were on spring break, and then they told us not to come back. I went and grabbed my stuff before they locked up the dorms because I knew it was going to last longer than 2 weeks. Well, that's good. And you didn't trust any authority with the administration at the time. That's good. I'm glad that you were able to make a decision and go grab all this stuff, because getting stuff during a lockdown doesn't really work very well. The police actually were searching for people and being like, do you have a reason to be out on the road? And then there's a couple sets of police officers, of course, who didn't care enough. Maybe it was better if they did care too much. I don't know. But yeah, anyway. My friend and I knew it was coming, and I guessed the country would lock down. I canceled birthday dinner plans for 20 plus people. Sad. I said we'd wait a few months. Everything was ordered to be locked down, and my birthday sucked. I'm sorry, Katie. Hopefully this year is not like that. Hopefully this year was a little bit better than last time, because that's horrible. Remember the clip of the lady speaking to the press? Keep your hands away from your face and mouth. Immediately licks finger, yeah. Going to be doing some bacon on Wednesday. Very cool. I hope that you can cool off, Dark. Take care of yourself, please, at every step. Get some water if you need, and ice packs and all that stuff. Stay cool. I was working at Maryland at the time, and a week before we finished the project, we all joked saying maybe the state will quarantine and we'll have to stop, and then the state closed next day. Clear. Wild stuff. Holy cow. And this is hard for me to remember that this wasn't last year. This wasn't the previous March. It was the one before that. Like, so much time has already gone by in a blink of an eye, and it doesn't feel like it, right? Like, it felt like this had just happened yesterday. One thing that I will bring up a lot throughout this conversation is this idea of our mental health suffers a little bit from this lack of like closure, kind of, closure for the pandemic, sure, because it's not really quite done yet, and there probably will never be a quite closure for it. There's never going to be like, cool, every last bit of COVID gone, because that's not how that works, right? We just have to learn to live with it. But there's no closure for all the things that happened during the process of it. So people who had to finish their school, like their degree programs, and couldn't go back. I didn't get any closure for my master's degree. I know a lot of people who didn't get closure of like 4+ years at school. That's horrible. But a job, if you left a job because they laid people off because they just didn't have the money anymore during the pandemic, that's one. There's all kinds of things that you might just be missing a little bit of closure for. So that's an idea I'm going to return to a bit, probably during this conversation. But had a plane flight to St. Louis and visit through an apartment there. Oh boy, stayed overnight, and on the flight back we were all wearing masks. That fast? Dang. First time at work that remains unvaccinated for religious reasons. Oh boy. Licks her fingers. Oh, that's nasty, Katie. I'm so sorry. Started paying attention to it in December because I did politics in school, and it was a rising issue, and then it got worse and worse. During February and March, we were ready for exams, and then it was a bit worrying and weary about what we would do. Yeah, and then did they tell you just not to come back after that, Kerbelly, or what happened after that? Welcome back, Cato. Hope you're doing well. Then we were unsure about the exams, we were unsure about the education. Okay. Huh. It's already working from home. I remember you said that, Erden, yeah. But I'm very used to being remote. It was tough watching coworkers suddenly. It was tough watching them have to suddenly adopt it. Yeah, it's something that takes time to just get into, you know? And some people just never really get used to that kind of work from home stuff. But living here in the remote part of Southeast Asia, we locked down pretty quick around December 19th. That's good. That's good that you guys got down very fast. Masks were common sense, but you get loony people all over the world that, yeah. So then the people who are also just visiting there in Southeast Asia, bringing more of it to you and then taking it all back to us and other countries, it's just not a good thing. Not a very good thing. So the facts of the pandemic and like how it spread and everything like that, we're a little bit more up to speed now because we've had like over a year to just, you know, get acclimated with what was going on and what's going on now. And it's easier to look back on it now, of course, because we have vaccinations that are out and about, which, by the way, get vaccinated or else you have to. Yes, you do have to. Yes, you do have to. Anyway. Oh, the music's on in the other one. Hold on. Let me just... In case I do that again, let's kill that. I forgot to turn that off. Amazing. Professional streamer. That's me. There we go. Made my sister and brother cancel a flight to see my mom. That sucks. You guys share a birthday? Dang. Never see him and it made mom cry to know he was gonna... Yeah, that fucking sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, Katie. That's really bad. I'm getting your second on my B-Day. Oh, your second vaccination. Nice. I'm sorry that it's on your birthday, though. That's a sucky prize, I guess, you know? Ink, how you doing? It's good to see you. So, yeah, it was pretty abrupt for most of us, right? There was no steady flow of information. If you were lucky, you were in a place that locked down very fast and did it, you know, well. But really, worldwide, especially in the US, but worldwide, there wasn't a whole lot of that. There wasn't a whole lot of just immediate closing off, you know, and masks weren't a thing for a while. Like, it took time for people to get used to the idea. People still kept traveling, even though there were lockdowns. There's all kinds of factors to why it wasn't handled as well as it was, or as well as it could have been. And part of that has to do with, you know, the different governments, different people in power not believing in it, or using that as a political tool. That was a heck of a lot of a problem, and that's a very common thing with issues like that. But, you know, so anyway, back to where I am at with my experience. I got home from that. I did work in a closet for a long time on finishing my degree online. That was really difficult, sure, but the scariest part was watching CNN and, you know, different newscasts, or, you know, searching online and just seeing every single article and things that got published constantly had to have a graph. You know, it constantly showed a graph of like the rising toll of cases and stuff, and, you know, and there wasn't really a fall. There was always a rise, you know. That was very scary to look at all the way through and through. Hi, Strawberry. How you doing? Good to see you. You guys will also have to excuse me, because if you type bigger paragraphs like that, it may be harder for me to read out loud. Sometimes I might not read them aloud, but I will reply to them all. Promise. I sent home and they told us to keep on revising and doing work just in case, and then they were canceled, but the way we got our grades really was unfair for a lot of people, including me. Yeah, that's unfair. Teachers definitely should have been used to how to change their minds with that kind of stuff, you know, change their stances on grades. But that is very unfortunate. Definitely an extrovert. Work from home was really tough with you, along with the scariness of the world. That's fair. Even with getting married in February 2020, the mental health really declined that summer. Well, you got married and then it immediately kicked off, you know? There wasn't really a whole much of a time to, like, get used to married life in a healthy way, you know? And I'm sure you guys are still doing fine, which is fantastic. But, you know, you don't get to do life the same exact way right after something awesome like that happens. You know, it can be really negative. Got to the point where I prescribed antidepressants for a month or two. Now that I'm back out of that, I'm glad you're out. I have a lot more understanding of people's struggles with depression. The world was definitely falling apart, Bonnie, for sure. I'm glad to hear that you're doing better now, Kyle, though. That's really good. I moved out during lockdown over a year now. If it wasn't for the fact that I could visit my parents to support Bubbles, I would have been so isolated. The internet isn't the same, and being able to have a hug. True. Very, very true. It's amazing because you would think that they would see the pandemic as a chance to get like a political win, as scrummy as it sounds, to bust their platform and motives and say, look, we fixed this. That's something that does surprise me too, Flamlam. I am very amazed that nobody took it as like, oh wait, guys, if we get people to follow this and, you know, make this thing go away faster, it'll be great for us. It'll be great for us. Our numbers will go up. And no one cared about that, which like is surprising, but also that's not a good reason to be fixing it anyway. So state still has a sizable portion still wearing masks. That's good. I feel weird not wearing one now. Do what you gotta do, dude. Do what you gotta do. I still stress wearing masks in public places, you know, but if you're hanging with friends and stuff and they're all vaccinated and you're good, you know, don't worry about it. I definitely would stress still in like stores and things, just wearing it as a common courtesy for the people who don't have it yet. That's all. Yay, I'm glad to hear that, Strawberry. I'm glad you're doing well though too. I gotta get some water too. Yeah, Kyle, I bet. Because, I mean, the two of you guys have a really good support system for each other anyway, you know? So I knew that the marriage part would be good. But, like, imagine how much smoother things would be and feeling. You get off the high of having a wedding, you're super happy about it, and then you get to still go out and do things. But instead, you get flatlined because you have to stay at home and not go out and see people, family, friends, anything else like that. That could definitely cause, like, a little bit of negativity on top of that, for sure. Socializing over the internet is really quite different, yeah. But like, how do you guys view the internet now? Then when that's a good thing to go into. How do you view it now based on, you know, all this stuff has gone by? How was it in your mind before we started the pandemic versus now? Because to me, the internet was, you know, a tool to see people who I would never be able to see in public. Not the ones that I don't see very often, just the people I would never see in public. And it was a research tool. It was something that I could get a little bit of like relaxation from if I was going to watch a YouTube video or two, like a Yogscast video at lunch or something. But arguably, I wasn't really on the internet that much. You know, I was doing a lot of work and practicing. And then as soon as the pandemic hit and really got rolling, the internet in my mind changed to, you know, a coping mechanism for one, and also just the ability to talk to people, anybody, because you couldn't see anyone anymore, you know? So I became way more heavily involved in how I was using the internet, you know, if that makes sense. So I'm curious what you guys feel like that. I'm curious about what your opinions are on that. Yeah, it got political really quick, true. It's a lot easier to point a finger and say, they're infringing on your rights, screw them, than to actually do anything. Well, I mean, also think about the fact that we at least didn't have the money or the plan to do it because our administration gave it all away and fired the people in charge. So there wasn't really a whole lot people could do to fix it, to be fair. Country also had Brexit was happening, so the entire country is on metaphorical fire, true. A literal fire at times. Kind of grew up socializing a fair bit online, though I'm sure it's led me to lean into games and voice chats to spend time together. Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. That's a good thing that you were already prepared for that. But not everybody was, you know? Went to college last fall and I ended up dropping out because the school would not give accommodations for autism and remote learning. It was very difficult. Most professors were not good at remote teaching. I'm glad you're very happy now, though. That's very good. But yeah, that's not the right choice at all. I'm glad that you dropped out of there. Hopefully, if you ever want to go back, you get a school that, you know, can give you those accommodations because you deserve that. And come on, guys, teaching online, as much as it sucks, like, I teach all the time. Like, I teach lessons all the time. It's possible. It's possible to give people accommodations. You shouldn't have to beg for that kind of stuff, and people shouldn't have to do that. I prefer to wear a mask for other people and myself because I'm very young and healthy, so I don't have it, and there's still a lot of cases in my area. That's very kind of you. I wish more people were like you. I was in a long-distance relationship for a while and have a lot of long-distance friends.
Whoa, look at that!
Still socializing. Awesome. Yeah.
New
Human
waffle,
connection's
who
not the
dis?
same online, though, for sure. New waffle? Who dis? Oh my god, 11 months. Waffles, thank you so much, dude. I was thinking about you yesterday. I hope you're doing okay. It's been a bit. I hope everything's going well. Love you lots, friend. Thank you so much for the 11 months of subbing. I appreciate it very much. Internet's gone from a tool to a safe space for me now. Oh, it's gone from a tool to a safe space. Got it. Especially finding communities and creating my own. It's been a crazy, surreal experience. Yes, for sure. You know, it's a whole lot more heavily oriented around everything that we're doing than it was before, where some of us probably tried every now and again to get off here and there, you know, and keep our eyes off the internet. Internet and Twitch kept me from sinking into a deep depression. That's good. I made some amazing friends over the 18 months. Lots of you are here right now. Katie, love you lots, friend. I'm so glad that we could be here together and to meet each other and get to know each other, because I don't know what it would have been like without it, you know? Before the pandemic, we used Discord to play games with friends that had moved away. A lot of our friends have moved, so it's hard to get together, and internet meetups are way easier to make happen. I can definitely attest to that as well. I mean, this whole thing is definitely a testament to that. Admittedly, the pandemic didn't change the internet much for me. I should probably get out more. Aaron, do what you gotta do, dude. You're doing great. I was never so active in Twitch before the pandemic. I didn't touch Twitch at all. Remind me to get back to that. Hold on to that for a second while I catch back up, okay? Internet felt one-sided before, even though it already had the capability to be collaborative. Connection to others feels much more important and real now online because you couldn't have the personal ones, you know, in real life before that, right? Like, or during the pandemic. So, yeah, I mean, that changes it. That changes it a whole lot when you physically can't get to be with people you care about, right? Because you need to fill that hole with something, and the only way you can do that is just to find a different social connection. So therefore, internet and meeting new friends and things is a way to keep you going, but you know, it doesn't always work for everybody either. This makes it a little bit difficult. Streamlabs has got to learn to let me scroll the wheel without constantly dragging me back down. A lot of my in real life friends have started using stuff like Discord and Twitch. I introduced them to a lot of content creators, so it was a way for me to talk to my friends in real life. That's really cool, Kerbelli. I'm glad you got to get something positive out of it. I started streaming because I was lonely during the pandemic. Very me too. That's what I wanted to get back to. But remind me in a bit. I'll talk more about it when we get there. I'm glad though it's working for you. Internet has been a big safe space for me, finding communities that I get to gel with. But that's definitely not the norm, and it's been quite a new experience for so many people. More than you'd even think, you know? So much more than you'd even think. Hi, Freezeburn. Good job with that emote. You totally typed it right. Well done. How you doing? Okay. Twitch is a good topic, for sure. I'm super glad to have met so many of you. I'm glad to have met you too, dude. Okay, quick water, and then I'll get back to it. So, the one thing on my mind that I wanted to get to for sure in this is the obvious topic of Twitch, okay? Twitch or content creation or anything. How has that... Mobile is hard. No, it's not. You typed it wrong. Content creation is a huge part of how we handled, like us together, how we handled the pandemic. Have a good lurk, Strawberry. Take care. Love you lots, friend. So, I also became more active in communities like Yogscast and other communities. Exactly. So, raise your hand in chat if you are somebody who didn't use Twitch a whole lot before this thing started, and then the moment it did, you know, you started using it more and more. Hi, that's me. I don't know who else sticks with that, but a lot of people I know in here especially are like that. There we go. Got some hands down there. That's a good enough amount of people for sure. It definitely was something that I was not expecting. Sig, good to see you. Thank you guys for raising your hands. I appreciate it. YouTube. YouTube was the thing that I used, but I used it for searching up music. I used it for following Yogscast people who I've known forever, but, you know, wasn't like watching every single video. And usually for, what else? Teaching videos. That's it. So those three things was about all I used YouTube for. And it wasn't very often, but it was like, okay, well, at college for dinner and lunch, I would turn on a video or two of Yogscast stuff, and I would eat to that just to have something to watch. I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV since high school. And yeah, that's what I was using it for. When the pandemic happened, I had so much free time that watching YouTube didn't feel right. It wasn't necessarily like something to like help guide my attention anymore. It was more like, okay, I'm just trying to kill time. And after a while, like, and a while being like a couple weeks, I couldn't do it anymore. You know, I haven't watched a Game Grumps episode probably in a year. I haven't watched much Yogscast stuff in a long time, but I watch a video here and there if there's someone I know that I want to see in it. Like if I see a Boba video or a Briny video or stuff, like I might jump on that more than like a main channel video. You know, so I haven't touched YouTube very much. I had already watched Twitch like a little bit here and there. It wasn't very often. I watched Boba's stuff without following before because I didn't know how to follow people. I didn't know what it did. So like I'd watch Boba's stuff before she was in the Yogscast for quite a while. A couple other people on there as well, like G. And around, I want to say July or June was when I finally like had started to follow people, like actually follow them and pay attention to their channels and watch it regularly. Whereas my own channel, I think I started doing stuff probably the tail end of April. I think that was it. So a little bit before I started following everybody, but I did exactly what Barry said. I started to do Twitch because I wanted to see friends that I couldn't see anymore. That was it. It wasn't to try to find a bunch of whole new people or make a community, because there was no way that was going to happen in my mind, you know? How are you going to find me among 5 billion people out there who are also using the platform? So I was using it as a way to talk to Krim and to Flam% and to Lemon a couple other people. Waffles is one, like loads of people. And like for a while, for a couple months, we only had like 3 or so people in the chat at a time, if I was lucky. And then I started being a little bit more active in the Yogscast communities, and things started to take off a little bit more. So much so that in December, there was a huge freaking spike of people who were following here. And then once December ended, we got into the new year. That's when a lot of you guys started turning up. Some of you guys who are more consistent in terms of being here frequently. And yeah, it just took off like in a way I never could have imagined. But I was using that as a coping mechanism, sure, but mostly just to be able to see friends and stuff. Foolish, thank you so much for the raid, dude. Welcome in, Raiders. How you guys doing? We're having a mental health chat today. How are you? What have you been up to? Thank you for the shout out for Foolish Dragon. You were doing Makers and Crafting because it's Monday. How was it? What did you do? I forgot who brought me in here, but I wish I could thank them. It was probably Kagan, I would guess. Hi, Ziggy. Foolish Raid has arrived. Sounds good. How are you doing? What were you making today? If you don't know me online, by the way, I play nostalgic games and piano, and today we're having a mental health chat. Hope you're doing super well. More Gundam building. Nice. Well, I hope it went very well, guys. Make sure to go check out Foolish's channel if you want to go see some Gundam building and some game stuff as well. God, I can't say that word very fast. But anyway, thanks again for the raid, buddy. Please take care of yourself. Food, water, you know the drill. Take care of it. We are talking about Twitch and how it was used as a more consistent coping mechanism for some people during the pandemic. I missed something, shifting headphones off, and I think, yeah, Kagan, I think you brought Airden to us, if I had to guess. It was either you brought Airden here or Andy brought us here. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate you. Any tips for a Babby Bonnie streamer? I don't know. Depends on what you're asking for, friend. Kagan did bring you to line. Okay, yes. I don't know. One of you two did. I have no idea. I just remembered that Kagan and Airden were together somewhere in there. So somewhere along the line it happened. Sounds good, dude. Enjoy the cleanup. Still trying to remember how I found you. You found me through Snowy. I found Snowy... I don't even know how I found Snowy. I found them on TikTok, probably. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so I followed Snowy, and then I started to be nice to them in their chat, and they took to me very, very nicely, too, which was cool. So they came and saw me, then I got modded over there somehow, and then we met through that, so that's how that happened. Started watching and following Ped and Simon in March, and then in around May, I started to sporadically stream as well, getting more serious with the music by making music rather than exclusively playing off of other people's stuff. Good. And then in October, I started to regularly stream more and get more active in communities. That's very, very cool. I didn't know how many of us had that same progression of, like, the pandemic starts, we need something to do, we need people to see, and then it just takes off, you know? That's really cool. I only found you because of Breath of the Wild. I remember. Their cat's very cute. Yes, very, very true. Hi, Boyd. Twitch has been great for filling in the social needs since I moved during the... Oh, you moved during the pandemic. Oh, dude. Very, very good. That's exactly going off the topic that we were talking about, too. I had moved back from Oklahoma right around the time that all the lockdowns started happening. So finding friends was not really a thing that I could do in my hometown. Most people I knew from, like, high school and stuff had moved on. They're somewhere else now. So I pretty much knew everybody my age here, and I wasn't going to make any new friends here that way. So online community was definitely the way to go. I had to meet some new people, and it wasn't on purpose. Like, I was definitely doing Twitch just to see the people I couldn't see anymore. And then you all piled in, and things took off, which was fantastic. But never could have expected it, you know? Never could have expected it. Definitely came here through a multi-linked path as a direct result of the pandemic. Kyle definitely got here because of a mutual friend, and I'm very, very glad that I met the mutual friend so I could meet Kyle in turn. I'm very lucky in that way. I think I got here because of Redux. Weeders, you definitely did. You came from Redux. I think I started watching because of Andy. Kerbelly, you came here because Andy might have raided, but I think you knew me before in Boba's for a little bit longer. But either or would have worked. Boba raided here twice or so it could have happened. As a naturally sensitive person who has always been a bit feminine, I've always been a supporter and promoter of openly talking about men's mental health issues, so great idea for a stream. Well, I appreciate that, dude. I'm glad it works for you. And I'm happy to have you here. You're welcome to hang as long as you like. You can lurk, or you can be active in the conversation too. No pressure to you either way. I want to get to sharing my art and stuff, but my tab bugging out connecting to the Streamlabs. Oh, I see.
No way! Whoa, no
Odd.
way.
Odd for sure. Thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, Bonnie, if you ever want to share any specific art and stuff, you're welcome to do it in the Discord. We do have a Discord for anybody who wants to come chill with us. If you ever want to have conversations about this stuff outside of it, we're here. We play games and stuff too. Feel free. Came here from Still Gold. Foolish, you came here from Still Gold. Yep, absolutely. I can remember where most of you are. Waffle says they got lost one day and ended up here, except for I know them, so that's not how that worked. Take care, Kato. Love you lots, friend. Thank you so much for being here. Take care, okay? I think I came from the sidebar, so thank you, Twitch Overlords. Freezeburn, you definitely were a random. You came from recommended, for sure. Your art is not bad, Bonnie. All art's good art. If you make art, good job. Very, very good. Content for the stream, though. I see. I want to start sharing my music, but there's a lot of half-finished pieces. Share it anyway. Share it anyway. Sometimes you get motivation just from hearing from other people, you know? Aw, Katie. I feel that too. How's your memory this good? It's not even that the memory's good, it's just you guys are you're really important to me, right? So if I can, hold on, how do I word this? Think about how you meet people in real life, right? You meet people in college, you meet people in high school, you memorize that, right? Because you memorize the specific events of when you met a person. It's not very often that you forget how you met a person. So for me, not having the in real life stuff, that's my way to remember, is where did you come from? What raid? What was I playing at the time? So I can remember with Rox specifically and Katie, I was playing Spyro, the Reignited Trilogy. I was playing the second game, and this was around Christmas time, and I can remember Deltas's raid. Hi, how you doing? Good to see you. And Tuka as well. So certain specific people I can remember pretty much when you guys came in. You know, it sticks with you more than you think it would. Oh, super cool, Ziggy. Well, I'm glad you found Foolish's stuff too. Thank you very much, Aiden. It's funny because Rox could technically call me on that if I was wrong, but she knows I'm right, so she won't. But anyway, so let's get back. I'm getting a little off task, so let's get back to the idea of Twitch. For me personally, then, I was using Twitch as a way to talk to friends that I couldn't get to anymore, and then you guys came in here. So with you guys, anybody out there who streams or is an audience member or a community member, any of that stuff, how did it affect you the same way? Did you start to use Twitch more because of the pandemic? Or was this just something that you had been using for a while, and all of a sudden tons of people that you didn't know came flooding in? I'm very interested. How's your face? No, I'm just kidding, Tuko. How you doing, Tuka? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing great as well. It's good to see you. I would imagine, for most of you, Twitch would have started happening more because of it. I never watched Twitch before the pandemic. Same. Twitch was what I leaned on to have any social interaction while working from home, and mostly lurked for the first month or two. Did you lurk in here as well, or were you just lurking in other places? I haven't changed how much I use it, but I've gotten to know a lot more people in the communities now. That's interesting, Weeders. Yeah, you'd be one of the first people I know who didn't actually change their intake of Twitch, because a lot of us weren't using it before. I can't imagine that. I feel like Redox would probably be the same as you, right? Like, they probably have been using it before everything took off anyway. Of course you were, Bonnie. I also never watched it before the pandemic. I still don't watch too often, but a good friend of mine started streaming, so I wanted... Oh, that's so nice of you. That's so nice of you. I'm lucky to have Krim, too, because we had talked about streaming for a long time, and he was nice enough to offer to be my mod, the first mod, while nobody was there in the chat at all, so I was very, very happy to have them. Lurked in other places for a little, came here and lurked in here for less time as I got more comfortable. Well, we're happy to know that you're here. I'm very lucky to have you here, too. You're recovered. Good, Tuka. I'm glad. Same Weeders for the most part. Intake bumped up some, but I think I've chatted a lot more since then. Well, that's probably because you guys got closer since then, right? We had more... Why do you think we got more closer, too? I don't like saying that grammatically incorrect sentence. Why do you think we got closer during the pandemic than we would have if we weren't during the pandemic? Curious. Always wanted to stream and just decided, fuck it, let's give it a try. And now I've been streaming for like 1.5 years. Good. Want to start taking it and YouTube more seriously, though, after my study. Dude, if you're doing it at the same time as school, it's a good thing that it was just a hobby before. But absolutely, if you get done and you have time to give for it, go ahead. Pandemic gave me a break from the actual job, and I've been wanting to do it for a while, so I kind of made the best of it. I'm glad that you get a chance to do it now, dude. I'm glad that it gave you a break where it was probably needed, you know? In some... And this feels like a horrible thing to say, too, right? This is a topic that's super important when you talk about the pandemic. It's this idea of how much growth people probably have had, you know, you included. When you have this much time of isolation to yourself, you have tons of self-reflection. This can be a negative thing, this can be a positive thing, it can be stuff in between, of course, but you have just loads of self-reflection, right? Whether it's academic stuff, social stuff, physical, like your body itself, like there's all kinds of stuff that you reflect on. But the difference this time was with the lockdown, you couldn't exactly get away from that once you started going, could you? Once you started really diving into self-reflection, it was kind of hard to get distracted from it because there just was a lot going on, you know? Or there wasn't a lot going on. You couldn't escape to social interactions. You couldn't escape to your job. You couldn't escape to schoolwork because there wasn't any of it going on at the time, you know? So self-reflection could become a negative thing super, super fast. And that's the scariest part about doing all of the pandemic stuff, you know? Sorry, I gotta figure out whose comment I saw that gave me that. It was Freezeburns. It was Freezeburns talking about wanting to give stuff another try to do. So for me, I had to find a way to get out of that idea of too much self-reflection by having more to do. And practicing music just wasn't cutting it for me. And I was already going to have an off year anyway, so I could go work while I was in between degrees. And unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to ever try it. I stayed unemployed the whole time. So I got lucky with the Twitch stuff as a way to not only cope socially, but to really just get my mind off of this idea of constant criticism, constant reflection. And I'm curious if that has happened with anybody else in whatever way you guys have used it. Shortest, it's good to see you. I was the OG Yogg sub. Only followed the best guy. Yes, he's good. I honestly think that Briny Twitch sing streams are... Oh, okay. I missed those. Those were really cool. My Elvis impressions meant people recognized my name. Aw. You got a good voice, dude. I'm glad that you got used to talking and are comfy. Practicing with the making videos. You got it, Foolish. I believe in you. I think healthy self-reflection is always good. Yes. Healthy self-reflection. Thank you for the hug, Shortest. Hi, Bliss Felicity. I hope you're doing well, friend. Hope you're doing good. Hello. Oh, my goodness. Shortest got hellos to everybody. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. That's one topic I really wanted to hit on for the pandemic in general. Is this idea of constant self-criticism, constant self-reflection, because you may get trapped in your head a lot more often than you can if you distract yourself with other work, you know? Think about anybody who has come out as, you know, a different sexuality or a different identity or changed their pronouns, all these different things within the pandemic spectrum. They might not have even been thinking about any of it at all, you know, when the pandemic started. But as soon as they had time to sit back and deal with, you know, unemployment or not going to school or just straight up having a lockdown, a lot of people started to reflect more on that stuff. Or if they had reflected on it in the past and were too worried to think on it, now they didn't have time to get away from it, you know. So in some ways it was positive. In some days people could be honest with themselves, they could be more open with the people around them, and that's super cool. But there can also be a negative side to it of people who are worried about changing themselves or being who they want to be. There's a lot of complicated stuff that could have come out of that. So I don't know if anybody sympathizes or empathizes with that kind of comment, but I'm curious. I'm just tossing out a lot of stuff, by the way. If you guys want to comment on any and all of it, feel free. I will read every comment that I can. Distractions and escapism are kind of my life. Airden, we are the technology generation. That's the whole hope, is for us to hide in the digital world, you know. Indy, good to see you. How you doing? I've heard from a surgeon that cosmetic surgery has been more common in lockdown. Really? That's interesting. I think that feeds into what I said, though, about the self-criticism part stuff. Or maybe just like, no one's going to be able to see me in time to judge me because I have all this time away from people. So that might have helped people to feel comfortable getting cosmetic surgery. Cavish, how you doing? Good to see you. Twitch was definitely like a bit of a substitute for human interaction, for sure. 100% agree. Friends and I usually gamed with, were getting quite busy with work, so they weren't online as much, and I was studying on my own at home, needed some human interaction. I was already streaming before that, but began seeing it differently for sure. Really started to form sort of relationships with viewers and the people I watched. I think one thing I want to talk about with the pandemic stuff, so remind me, don't let me forget, parasocial relationships. We got to have a conversation about how that has mixed in with the whole pandemic scheme at some point. Open chat? Yeah, it's an open chat for sure. I've always struggled with living in the past too much. Self-reflection rarely goes well for me, and I was unemployed for like a year until this March, which didn't help. That can definitely be detrimental. I feel that. I feel that well. Having distractions like this definitely helped. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. And hopefully you're getting into a better place with it now. Definitely come a lot more self-aware and educated about social justice issues. Very good. The pandemic self-reflection just screamed privilege at me. Oh my goodness, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. Especially as somebody, like, especially for myself, who is visibly, like, I could pass as cis, I could pass as straight, I could pass as all these things, I could pass as a male. Yeah, privilege. So much privilege. And I already was aware of it enough before, but it's easy to ignore. It's easy to ignore it when things are working fine for you. But yes, the pandemic definitely could be an eye-opener for that kind of stuff too. So I'm glad to hear that that you had a chance for some self-reflection on that. Lots of time to look in the mirror. Too much, Weeders, too much. Ooh. I had time to sit and think about my life, and other people were fighting for theirs. Yeah, we had time to relax and sit at home and, you know, be worried about the world, but like, we were still in comfy spaces and things like that, whereas a lot of people weren't. It was very rude. Not rude. It was very different. I don't know what word I was looking for there that started with an R, but it's gone. Parasocial relationships are super interesting. Very much so. You're always your worst critic. True. It's so tough to go from self-critiquing to self-analyzing, or at least keeping the reflection healthy. It's a skill, you know. It's a skill and a talent that you have to, you know, grind at to make happen, which some people think just needs to be a natural thing. It's not. It's not natural. At least for most people. Did an entire study on parasocial relationships between young children and YouTubers for half a year. They can be good, but also really bad. Extremely bad in some cases, for sure. But they can be very positive, as we've shown just by hanging out here. I've definitely learned more about the way my brain works, and I've made mental notes on triggers and can catch myself before I spiral more easily. That, I'm super proud of you for that. Congratulations. And thank you very much for sharing that, because that's super important. Being able to actually work out what stuff can trigger negative reactions and things like that is not an easy task at all. Obviously, not everything's perfect, but I feel like mental health is daily maintenance awareness, and I'm happy I got the process going. That's super cool, and I'm really proud of you. Yeah, self-reflection is a skill. It's a skill, because how easy is it for you to just turn a blind eye to what you're seeing and move on and just not fix it? Or to just reflect on it and be aware that it's there and still say, I'm not going to fix it. You know, it's a skill. It's a skill for sure. I'm glad you're much better, Ziggy. That's good. Awesome. Shortest. Thank you so much for gifting us up to Ziggy Bones. I really appreciate it. Enjoy your badge and emotes, friend. We're so happy to have you. Been leaning more into feminine accessories and colors lately, though, which has helped me feel more confident. Good. I'm very lucky that my girlfriend is very supporting of it and discussing my not-so-certain sexuality. That's awesome. That means that you guys are in a very, very good relationship together, at least from the outside in and the minimal knowledge that I know. So I'm very, very happy to hear that, and I'm glad you can trust her enough to be able to talk about that stuff. That's really cool. Learning to spot a spiral is so important. Extremely so. I can't even do that sometimes, you know? It's not always a for sure thing. But yes, as a reminder to anybody who, if you have anything specific that you want to address in this conversation, feel free. We're almost at an hour. I intend to probably go to 2 hours, so probably another hour on top of this. And either by the time we're done with that, change to a game to relax and unwind a little bit, maybe marbles, or just cut it off there and be done. So I at least have planned to be here for the next hour and hear what you guys have got going on. One thing to guide the conversation back a little bit more to wherever I think it should go, which who cares where I think it should go. We talked about Twitch, so we can move away from the Twitch angle of things. Personal life, personal home life with family specifically. If you were in a lockdown and your family wasn't there, gotta enjoy your lurk, dude. Your family wasn't there, you were living in an apartment or a house or something, it doesn't really matter where, but you couldn't get to your family. That's obviously going to cause mental stress, right? If you have a good relationship with your family, of course. If you don't have a good relationship with them, of course, you're probably happy to not have to go see them. But most people probably miss their families during this time. Or you ended up, like me, moving back to your family home and staying with siblings and people that you used to live with. That's a whole topic in and of itself, you know. How do you handle the world being theoretically on fire, or metaphorically on fire, or physically on fire, while you are stuck at home? And if you're my age, you know, 24 years old, you've been out of your house for a while, and now all of a sudden you're back in here again. It can feel a little bit cagey. It can feel a little bit like a jail cell, a little bit, you know? Even though I am super privileged to be here. I love my family. My family's awesome. And, like, I get to stream from here. I get to have food. I get to, you know, live a life and be comfy while being unemployed. And not a whole lot of people can say that. So I'm extremely privileged to be able to say that stuff. But, like, I would be interested in hearing how the pandemic itself affected your mental health regarding your family. You know, did anything good happen from it? Did you guys make good reflection being stuck with each other for longer? Or, you know, did you guys just all hide in your own rooms? What did you do? What did you do? I'm not really one for labels, but for what I can tell, the closest label would be heteroflexible. That is a new one for me, although I think it's mostly because I never got the chance to explore that side of sexuality. Well, I hope you have time to be able to narrow that down in the future, and I'm proud of you for being able to discuss it and be so open with it. That's really cool. Let's see. I have a good relationship with my family, but I'm not concerned about not seeing them. Might just be that I'm older and kind of want to go my own way. Weeders, you've always given me a little bit of an impression of being an independent person, someone who's very confident in the decisions that you're making. You know, whether that's just my impression or that's the fact, I don't know, but that would make sense to me. That you have a good relationship with your family, but you're not overly concerned about not seeing them, especially if they're not in any danger too. You know, if they were in a good space, then maybe there was nothing to be worried about. I too have moved back in with the parents and brother and mostly been enjoying it. That's really good. I'm glad. I have my moments where I don't. I have my moments where I would love to not be here, for sure. Take care, Bonnie. Sleep well, okay? I appreciate you. I hope you're doing good. It was such a relief the first time I got to see my family and we were all vaccinated. That was the most normal I felt in the whole time. I can empathize with that. I just got back from a week vacation with them, or a couple days vacation with them, rather. And as weird as the vacation was, to be able to sit there and be happy that none of us had masks on and, you know, we were comfortable with each other, that's super cool. I was very, very lucky for that. Okay, lots of big paragraphs now, so I'm going to read them in my head and make comments as we go, just so I don't, you know, run out of mouth. But I am going to drink water while I do it, okay? No, you don't have to be sorry, Foolish. That's a good topic. So Foolish is talking about parasocial relationships, which we'll get into more, saying that they had made a conclusion that YouTubers and streamers need to be more aware of what parasocial relationships are like and what effect they have on people, especially children or teenagers. It's really important to know how that stuff works. So we'll get back to that. Void says, I was extremely worried about moving in with my parents if I didn't find a job during the pandemic and the move. I have a poor relationship with them ever since coming out, and the pandemic was an opportunity to cut off my hurtful parents as much as possible. They still reach out via mail since I blocked their phones and deleted Facebook, but I hear from my sibling that they're not any more supportive of queer or BIPOC people, despite us trying to change their mind for years. That sucks, and my heart goes out to you, friend, because that's not easy to deal with at all. For parents at all, or family members at all, to ever, you know, deny what another person is like, let alone their own child, is just unreal to me, you know. And I'm very lucky and privileged, again, that I have the parents that I do, because they would always be accepting towards us no matter what. But that's a terrifying thing. So my heart goes out to you, and I apologize if this entire situation has made things more difficult with them than it would have been without it, you know. I have confidence born of ignorance and of my decisions. I wish I could read correctly. Weeders, goddamn it. I always say I felt super lucky having a girlfriend during the pandemic that I could see regularly. Might have gone insane otherwise. I'm sure you would have gone insane, but yes, I had a long distance relationship. It was going for a couple years, and unfortunately it ended during the pandemic due to a lot of self-reflection between the two of us. And yeah, I mean, even just having a long distance relationship was hard. You know, that caused me more difficulty than not having one, because I was constantly worrying about another person. And I needed to be worried about me too at the same time. So it's a rough thing for sure. Rock says, contemplating whether to write this book or not. Great. Trying to TLDR it. In October 2018, I got into some trouble at work for calling in sick to work due to on-the-job injuries. Okay. Basically lost the great equal paying job that I've been at for 27 years. Oh my goodness. Thought I'd ruined everything and quickly went through any savings or money I had access to, leaving me basically negative in the bank for a year and a half or so. And the depression was bad. I can imagine. And I'll leave it at that. During that time, I realized that I could watch Sips live, where I had only watched him and some yogs on YouTube before. That was something to look forward to every day, as dumb as it sounds. That doesn't sound dumb at all. Can anybody else empathize with that? Raise your hand if you can empathize with that. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that at all, and I'm proud of you for being able to find something else that could keep your attention and give you some positivity, because that's not easy at all, you know, especially to be at a job for that long and then not be able to do it anymore. That's horrible. That's a horrible thing. And you've come out of it so strong too. Look at you. You already have another job, and you are completely seeming to be better, at least on a surface level. Hopefully I'm not just reading into it too much, but I'm proud of you. I get my second jab in 2 weeks. I'm proud of you, Ziggy. Good job. Thank you for getting vaccinated. Sasu says, I have a young sister, and we used to fight a lot, but after the pandemic, we don't fight anymore. All siblings fight, though, but now it's way better. Yeah, if you have an actual relationship, then they're just like petty fights that may happen sometimes, because that's normal for siblings. But that's awesome to hear that things have improved for sure. Kyle understands Rox's feelings very good. Tuka does too. Fast forward to now, got the job back, and I very much appreciate the Twitch people who keep me alive, or kept me alive, actually. Rocks, I'll cry. I'm glad you had those people, too, and we're glad to have you here. Ray, good to see you. I hope you're well, too. Thank you very much. Glad to hear you have accepting parents. Thank you, Void. I'm very, very glad to have them. Now I truly feel you, Rocks. Shortest understands Rocks' feelings. Good. I'm super glad you had something like Twitch to keep you going and that you were able to get the same job back. Same thing that I said. Cool. To be honest, you and the people who always say hi around here were a big help for me even in the last 6 or 7 months. That was big for me to have positive interactions while I wasn't at the office. You guys are going to make me cry because I'm glad to know that this place or anything like this on Twitch was helpful to you. That's awesome. That makes me feel very happy. I'm glad you can empathize with that too, Void. Just start writing. Yeah, usually when I'm contemplating about something a lot, I need it to just start. If it doesn't work out like I'd intended, I will alter it and be like, all right, learn from this and that. And if it does, you'll just be happy you started doing it. Foolish, that makes sense. You hate the job. Oh no. But you still got it. You still got it. Is there any chance of you getting to a different job that you think you'd feel better about? What do you think? Sometimes it's just having a constant in your life, even if it's something silly. Some semblance of a routine and something to look forward to is what helped me when I wasn't doing well. Yeah, I mean, I felt the same. Again, I started streaming in April of 2020. Or, yeah, 2020. I don't know why I said it like that. And I was streaming to nobody. I was streaming to like 2 or less people for several months. And then maybe in September, I got up to like 5. And maybe by October, I got to like 10. Then that was it for a while. Like, my goodness, there are some days that we are in here and only 15 or so people are in here, you know? Like, it really just depends on the day. But it was more just the consistency of having a schedule and doing something and making it feel like a job, even if I wasn't getting paid, that, you know, helped me along when I was not able to get a job out in the world. But I'll take their money. Take their money, Rocks. Do it. Take it all. Kyle's also doing the exact same with their job, though, too. That's funny. Oh, no. I hope you can find a better place someday to work in, or retire. Retire very healthily and happily. Yeah, so family. The topic of family, for sure, is a difficult one if you have a rough relationship with your parents. So if you did have to suffer through any of that, and you lived with them or near them, all my support to you. I'm proud of you for making it through. And hopefully now you can start getting back to living in a different place, or just getting the heck out of there, honestly. Because this... Man, a lockdown can show you how much you need to work on communication skills with other people, you know, or vice versa. I do hope you can find better places to work, too. Working in a place or position you hate can do awful things to the mental health. Yeah, and I'm glad you have things to help you cope with it, you know, and I'm glad we're here to help you with it. But also just not having the shitty thing in your life, that's probably a whole lot better than just trying to find ways to manage it, too, you know. Twitch streams are nice during work, like I'm doing right now. Well done. I have to deal with so many Excel sheets, and Twitch streams remind me to relax and blink. Please don't stare at Excel for too long. Your eyes will burn out the back of your head, for sure. Work lurks are definitely good, though. We have them very commonly here. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so that's family. I get to get off of that topic now. If anyone else has something else they want to say, feel free. Streamed to like 3 people for years now. Sometimes you peak to 7 or 10. Sometimes the raid takes you to 15, and now it's all about experience. Yeah. Dude, it's all luck. It's all luck. A lot of those times. There's billions of people on this platform, you know. You just gotta find the right people, and you gotta have the luck that they can help to support you, you know. I'm very lucky to have you here. I do work to set up the streams, of course, and to do the streams, but a lot of it comes just from support and the luck that I have for you guys to have the time to want to share, you know. It is very luck. Yeah. I don't think I could come out as non-binary to my family. My older sister has a wife and I have a girlfriend, and they're fully supportive of that, but I just know I can't open that can of worms of gender. I don't know if you can't. But I can understand feeling like there's no way it'll work out, you know? And it's completely up to you, of course. If you are not comfortable doing that, don't do it. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that you'd be able to do it someday, you know? You never know. I felt that all the time about my family in terms of my siblings. Would my siblings be able to comfortably come out to my parents? And, you know, they thought that was going to be the end of the world, and it worked out just fine. You know, sometimes things work out better than you hope, but also sometimes things work out worse. So you could never really be too sure. Sometimes you just got to take the leap, though. Mostly I come from the privileged position still, too, of I would rather somebody is aware of what I'm like and who I am than me to lie to them and stay comfy through it all, you know? I would rather they know. But that's still something that I wrestle with too. Anyway, landing an audience is hard, yeah. Foolish, definitely keep in mind too, because at least where I'm concerned, I can speak to my experiences, but not to other people's. The numbers fluctuate all the damn time. Why do you think I try really hard not to look at them and I keep them hidden? I tell people not to talk about the viewer count and raids and all that stuff, just because it's stressful. It's stressful to see numbers go down, especially if you've been doing it for a while. You just got to do it and hope that the right people come along to watch the content. And if you're doing the work, people will come, and you do the work, so you'll be good. A big salami, Freezeburn? I don't know what you're saying. What the hell are you saying right now? All right. It's just a whole separate conversation. They get different sexualities, but not genders. And I think having them know and keep getting it wrong would hurt more than just staying quiet. I think it's an active choice. It's an active thing that you have to do. When you are a person in that position of learning something new, they actively have to be trying to be better. And sometimes they're going to mess up. And, you know, that doesn't have to be okay. Like, some people say, no, it's not okay that you messed up my pronouns. No, it's not okay that you're calling me the wrong name, you know. And then other people are like, that's okay, you're trying, and I'm fine with it, you know. I, myself, have turned to the idea of, it's not okay that you're messing it up, but I still, you know, like, I'm not offended, and also I still forgive you for messing it up, you know. I don't like the idea of being like, when someone's misgendered, being like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, you know, and then they say, oh, it's okay, dude, don't worry about it, because it's not okay. You invalidated a person's existence by saying that, you know, whether it hurt them or not. That's technically what you did, you know, so it's a rough thing for sure, and if you don't want them to know and mess it up because you think that would bother you, that makes complete sense. It makes total sense. Foolish, I'll get back to your thing in a second. Melon, thank you so much for the raid, dude. How you doing? Oh, you did Power Wash Simulator. Oh my, no. How did that go? How did that go? I have to know. Guys, good to see you. If you don't know me, I'm Lime. I play nostalgia games with piano, and we are having a mental health chat today about the pandemic in general. You're welcome to lurk with us if you'd like, or hang out and be active, but of course, no pressure at all. And if you have to head out, please protect yourselves. Look at all those melons. Look at all those melons. You're loving it. I'm so glad. It's such a satisfying game, but also you can ruin it so well too. Holy crap. Jess, Nicholas, good to see you. Rossabo as well. Hade, Goblin. Oh, look at all these lovely human beings. I hope you guys are doing well. I won't try to call you out if you guys are just lurking. But thank you so much for the raid. Please go follow Melancholy. They are a phenomenal gamer and a great streamer as well. You want to follow them. They're hilarious as well. Holy shit. Please go follow them. It's been a great chat so far. Thanks so much, Ayrton. I appreciate it. Power Wash Simulator itches my brain so well. It's such a good game. It's such a good game. Okay, let me get back up to what Foolish was saying. Also, Melon and Raiders, if you need to head out, no pressure. Please do not make yourself stay or anything like that. Take care of yourself, get food, water, whatever you need. Awesome. Thank you so much, Melon. I appreciate it very much. Oh, my goodness. Rocks. Oh, what? You did what? Oh, thank you so much.
So now you know why I appreciate you, so even though Sips will always be my main man laughing face.
What the heck? Rocks! Thank you very much for the $95 tip. I appreciate it. Holy crap. I appreciate you in general, you goober. Guys, please put all the love in the chat. Please and thank you for Rocks. Also for Shortest, thank you very much for gifting a sub to Citra Comics. Much appreciated. What the fuck? That's way too nice. Who is Sips? I've never seen that guy. I've never seen that guy a day in my life. Don't tell him I said that. He won't know who I am. Don't worry about it. Anyway, Rocks, thank you so much. My goodness. Foolish, I gotta get back to what you were saying. Definitely a lot of luck involved in streaming. Yes, true. But I do believe you can make it if you have something original and interesting to bring to the table. You don't even have to be that original, too. A lot of it's just luck. But yes, I completely agree with you, too. Quiet reminder for parasocial discussion, too. It has not been touched on. Thank you. I will get to that in a moment. Also, who you choose or choose not to love is your business. Yeah. So how you choose to present, it's up to you. Everyone has a process. And Ray, if you want to keep that stuff to yourself and not tell your parents, I'm not going to tell you what to do on that at all, you know? If you think it's safer to do that, it's totally up to your mental. Are we talking about the big cups at the 7-Eleven? The big sips? I thought those were called big gulps. I think those are big gulps. Oh my goodness. Gabo, I hope you're doing well, dude. Parents still sometimes don't understand that I can be bi and still have a girlfriend. A lot of people are like that too. It's a problem with people being slightly biphobic without even meaning to be. So it's an active thing. Yep, friends try and they slip occasionally. Lots of my friends slip on my pronouns all the time because I didn't make a big announcement about it, you know? So I can't get upset at them for it. But anyway. Void says, it does hurt. I wish that I had explained non-binary genders and stuff before I came out so I knew if they would be acceptive, but they didn't even know about they, them pronouns when I came out. I haven't told them about the recent Z, them pronouns. Oh, okay. So when I came out, it was just a really stressful time. That sounds very stressful, friend. I hope that gets a chance to be a little bit easier later on down the road, and that hopefully you don't have to be the one to educate them too much on it, you know, because it's not your responsibility to have to do that. But I'm proud of you for trying to push through it, how you have. The number was Rox, the number was uneven. You could have donated you could have tipped $5. That would have fixed it. But also you could have tipped nothing and been fine. Blame Clear. Clear always does $5 tips, so that's why that was uneven. That's a different streamer. Gulps. Oh my goodness. All the large cups are called sips to me. Are they? Are they actually, Katie, or are you just messing with me? Erica? Jess, where do you see Erica? I don't see them. You fill them in the AM and sip on them all day. Are they actually called big sips? Oh, to you. Okay, fine. I'm caught up now. I'm caught up. I understand. Kyle gave me a reminder for parasocial relationship discussion about the pandemic specifically. So we've talked about this before, right? The idea of parasocial relationships, which I should probably Google an actual definition of it to read to you instead of just trying to give it in my own words. Parasocial relationship definition. This is a very commonly looked up thing too. Parasocial relationships are one-sided relationships where one person extends emotional... Is this correct? Let me find this. One person extends emotional energy, interest, and time, and the other party is completely unaware of the other's existence. Parasocial relationships are most common with celebrities, organizations, and television stars. So that's one very specific way to word it, but in our nature, it's different, right? Parasocial relationships are how you view celebrities, how you view content creators and influencers and all these people who may not even really know that you exist. So like a big Twitch streamer who may never see because they don't read chat. That's basically what like the base level of a parasocial relationship is. With Twitch streamers that are smaller or people who see a lot of chat, it can be a little different because yes, we're still content creators, and yes, it's kind of one-sided, whereas you may see more of us than we see of you in a day, but we're still giving back to you too. So it's not entirely that base level of a parasocial relationship, right? So I care about pretty much everybody that I come into contact in here who is nice, polite, and listens to other people. Take care, Foolish, by the way. I appreciate you and the raid. Thank you so much. Get some good rest, okay? Yeah, so it's different for us. It's different for me in this specific case because I know all of your names. I know where most of you are from if you've ever shared. I know what streams you came in on, what raids you came in on. Like, I have a lot of information in my head. How you're doing, how's your health going? You know, it can still have a very one-sided element to it in a different way though, right? So I, for instance, keep my DMs closed on Discord and on Twitter because I had been being harassed for quite some time and I got annoyed with it, so I got rid of it. Whereas here, we can have an open dialogue about anything, and obviously I care enough to, you know, comment on it and hope that you guys are all doing well. But if you came into my DM afterwards and were like, hey Lime, how you doing today? And just wanting to have like a normal conversation, I might not feel comfortable with that, you know, because it's not the space that we agreed to. This is the space, and Discord is the place that we like agreed to have these conversations and relationships in. But we might not be close enough to be like personal friends enough, you know, where like I still think of you guys as friends, right? But if we're having a one-on-one discussion in private, I may not be comfy with that. Does that make sense? Some people are like that. And other people are like, no, anyone can talk to me at any time of day. We're all friends no matter what, you know? And that's just not me. I was about to ask if we could define it because I've heard the word a lot but never got the full definition. Well, hopefully that helped a little bit though. Small streamers can have a very one-sided element for sure, yes. So with the pandemic, the problem with parasocial relationships specifically in the past couple years is that it's been more difficult to set exactly what Ray said, healthy boundaries, right? Natural and healthy boundaries need to be established pretty early on, usually by the person who's creating the content. So in this case, me, for this channel, I have to establish my basis, which is if you talk to me in Discord and you talk to me in Twitch chat, I am totally cool to talk to you pretty much at all hours of the day unless I'm asleep. If you DM me, that might be a little too far unless I've, you know, approved it beforehand, you know. So that's my boundary line. Personal one-on-one conversation, I may not want to do that, you know, because I am an introvert. I get shy very easily. I get very worried about how people think about me. Like, I've got a lot of those things that I need to tend to myself. So that's a good example, I think, of the parasocial relationship. With the pandemic, though, and us using this as a way to cope with not being able to see people, and this is where our social energy is all going to, those parasocial relationships become a little bit more like more real relationships, right? It's hard to keep those boundaries there because you're constantly talking with your viewers, like here, or you're constantly talking with community members in the Discords. It can be difficult to keep those boundaries still established. And I've run into that a couple of times personally throughout the pandemic, where some people would think that we were friends and really be telling me personal stuff that I'm not prepared to hear, and I didn't know how to backpedal to tell them, like, this is just not what I'm comfortable doing. So I think it's very interesting to note anybody else's experiences on this too. If you're an audience member, a community member, if you are a streamer as well, anything like that, where have you noticed a shift, if you have, in parasocial relationships? Or has it stayed the same for you? Have you been able to maintain healthy boundaries the whole time? I'm just curious. I'm very curious. When talking to someone, I like to have the option to not talk. DMs don't give that security. When talking to someone, I like to have the option to not talk. DMs don't give that security. Yes. Or confidence. Yeah. I like the ability to be able to reply in a public space. Public, you know. So like a general chat in Discord. If I'm talking to one person in a general chat, everybody in that chat can see it. I don't like DMs because there gives a place for people to sometimes say stuff that is extremely insensitive and scary, and there's no one else there to back me up when that happens. Or you run into the problem of people could misconstrue your words. People could misconstrue things that have happened. Take an incident where you are talking to somebody in a DM, and then they go off and they tell like a mod somewhere that you said something horribly, like homophobic or something horrible like that, you know, and they didn't show them proof because there isn't, and you didn't do it, but the mod believes them, they ban them right away, they tell all these other mods and streamers to ban you as well. All of a sudden you're banned in 18,000 communities because one person you didn't really know that well but you thought you were friends with decides to do something like that. That happens. That does actually happen more often than you'd think. So, you know, I choose to stay out of any sort of DMs like that just in case that thing could happen someday, you know. But it really just depends on who you are, where your boundaries are at. I welcome all of you friends. You keep me sane, and if I can help you with some textural relief, that might sound weird if you want. Textual? Textual? What do you mean by that? Like reading your words? Is that what you mean? I appreciate it, though. Thank you. I agree. This seems to be mostly about respecting other people's boundaries. I'm a very open and extroverted person, but I can acknowledge when someone is a lot more reserved and isn't comfortable being in that situation. Well, I appreciate that very much. As an introvert, thank you very much for doing that, because we need more extroverts like you. I've learned that streamers have different levels of okay to being contacted. One of the streamers I mod for example, is okay with DMs and whatnot, but I find that I'm not okay with someone approaching me and being like, hey, how do I befriend the streamer and have her join me in game? Yeah. That's not even like a real relationship or friendship either, is it? Because that's just using somebody for either clout or just trying to springboard off of their reputation and stuff, which isn't okay. That person left the Discord on their own accord. I feel friendships are okay, and I don't know how to feel comfy when someone asks me something like that. Yeah. Read my words, yeah. Shortest, I can't read very well. I can't read very well, so if I ever ask you for a little bit of clarification, it's just because my brain is reading it wrong. That's all. I think some people come to lie to themselves about boundaries in place and may associate themselves to someone else via a relationship that doesn't really exist. That is, like, they're in love with Sips per se, but Sips really only recognizes them as a viewer. Is it a boundary or relationship mismatch, therefore an inherent element of parasocial relationships? I don't think it's necessarily...
Whoa, look at that!
Well, it could be. It could be, yeah. Jess, oh no. Shortest, thank you so much for gifting us up to Jess. Jess got DM'd by someone who thought you were Sip's wife. Are you? Are you? I don't think they are. Jess, enjoy your badge of emotes, friend. Man, I can't imagine that, though. But, Airden, is a boundary or relationship mismatch therefore an inherent element of parasocial relationships? I don't think all the time, because I guess if you're looking at the base definition of the word parasocial relationship, yes, because that, like, the base definition is a one-sided relationship where the other doesn't really know that the other person exists, or it's not as a personal thing. My parasocial relationship a couple years ago would be when I first discovered Game Grumps, when I first discovered Yogscast. You know, watching videos of these people every day, it feels like I know them, but they don't know me. You know, that's a parasocial relationship from the base level, if that makes sense. In our version of it all, in our versions of parasocial relationships, it's not always a super healthy boundary in place. It depends on the person, and it's not always a mismatch of the relationship too, you know. Sorry, I got caught up in my words there. Goblin, thank you very much for the claps. I hope you're doing well. How are you? Sips means more to me. I'm just one of the 5,000 people in the chat, but that's fine with me. Fair enough. That was a serious zoom. I had to do it, Siggy. Had to do it. Oh, congrats on baby number 3, Jess. Well done. You've done great. Well done. For fuck's sake. When I started streaming, the only person who regularly watched me would talk to me in DMs. It was weird to begin with, but they were nice about it and not talking too long, and we got on, so I'd consider them a friend now. But it's very different when it's one person versus a crowd trying to get to you. Now we just talk in my actual Discord. That's really cool. That's really cool. I'm really happy to know that there was a positive way that could go, because I have been on the negative side of that a couple times already in the year and a couple months that I've been streaming in general, where someone who I thought is really, really cool right off the gate, and people have been super nice about saying, like, this dude's a good dude, you know, really be friends with this guy if they talk to you. Then all of a sudden that dude is trying to use me in a way that I'm not comfortable with, or things like that. And it's just been bad. So I've just blocked the ability to do DMs unless we have friend requests. And I hate the idea of that too. I want to be open to everybody, because if you ever did need anything, I wish I could be able to help, you know, like that's how my brain works. I would love to be as helpful as possible, but I can only friend a couple people, and I literally only friends with like 20 people on Discord at max. You know, I've met like over 1,500 of you guys, and I still am not friends with a ton of people. So I hope no one takes it personally if you try to send a friend request and I don't accept it. It's not because you would do anything wrong necessarily. It's just I am so shy against like confident or confidential relationships or friendships and stuff like that, you know. So I'd prefer to interact in a public space and be happy with that instead. You're not Deltas's mom? Are you sure? One of my friends online at first told me they were streamer's mom in Discord, and I'm easily swayed, so I believed in about 4 minutes. Oh, goodness. What do you mean? Purple's mom? What about Purple's mom, Airden? Mama Helix is great. She's fantastic. I don't know Boof's mom, though. Streamer you're watching has his mom in there, but no one knows who it is. What? Dang. It's a hard one, because on one side, you want to support people who need your help when they DM you. When they DM you every day and need a response from you immediately because they've depended on your contact as a support network, that's not really fair. It's one of life's tough lessons when you have to put yourself first, yes. And I am so bad at that. I am so inherently bad at that, and I need to get better. But the pandemic has helped to show me that, because I had the time to reflect on how uncomfortable I am at setting boundaries, you know. So I have been a whole lot better about it now, and that's a part of me that I've improved. I'm proud to say. So hopefully anybody else in my position or similar positions of streaming or making content or anything like that, hopefully you're feeling the same way, or just in general. You know, if you are able to set better boundaries now than you were before, that's awesome. And I'm really proud of you for doing it, because it's not easy. Thank you for pinging the Discord, Tuco. Welcome to have anybody in there if you'd like. Mama Helix is lovely, yes. And Lady is wonderful. Is Lady Boof's mom? I think that may be the difference. Parasocial relationships are probably easier if you're not an overly nice person like me. Fair. The way I talk to people always makes it clear that I'm here, but don't ask anything of me, and likewise I won't do the same. Not to say that I'm not nice, but there's a difference between going out of your way to help everyone and just chilling out. And yeah, you've always struck me as somebody who's just chilling, vibing, likes to hang out, and then when the hang is done, you know, don't bother them unless, you know, there's like a particular friendship that you have, you know. So I can definitely see that. Lady is Boost Mom, okay. One job I worked at being a mentor to first-generation college students. They warned us to be clear about our boundaries, and since being a mentor was our job, we could keep the contact only being during the workday. Gotcha. Don't know how that would translate to Twitch, though. I mean, only having the contact in chat would be the way, but also, we have Discords, right? Discords are the way to deal with not being live on Twitch in general, so The parasocial relationship's fine in here because nobody can really DM me here. And if you whisper to me on Twitch, I will not reply. I will just not reply. Thank you so much, Shortest, for the lurk, dude. Thank you for the hydration reminder as well. I do appreciate it. Please stay hydrated, everybody. Get some water. I do not reply to whispers on Twitch. It's just too weird. I'm sorry. So if you're ever going to do something, Discord is the way to go. If we are friends, you can DM it. But if we're not friends, talk to me in a general chat. That's the best way. But Discord is really the crux, yeah, because you can't do so much to like affect the parasocial relationship on Twitch because there's ways to ignore it, you know. Whereas Discord, if you say something in my Discord in a general chat and I don't reply to it because you're asking me directly, that probably means that your comment's about to be deleted, you know, because I reply to everything for the most part. You might have asked something that I just unfortunately can't answer, and it's just, yeah, it's easier for me to set boundaries in the public Discord than it would be in a DM or an instant message, okay? I think that makes sense. I'm so tempted to send a slightly creepy whisper to Lion, but I'll be good. I wouldn't even be able to see it. I block all the whispers. I respect how you got the boundaries down and are clear about it. It's awesome. Thank you. I'm so glad because, my God, did I wait a long time to do that. I waited so long to do that. But anyway, obligatory thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys having this discussion with me. If it seems like it's been more one-sided about the views and you guys want to get in on the topic, feel free to toss anything out. Any questions you have about the pandemic in general or just mental health stuff in general, I'm good for it all. But I did want to touch on parasocial relationships with the pandemic because the most important part to see is that the more we were in lockdown and the less we got to see people in real life, the more these relationships kind of took off a little bit and friendships took off, to the point that, you know, you can get misled. You can get misled. You might think that you're friends with somebody, and then something happens to remind you that, oh, this is a person online who doesn't actually know me, and I don't know them. They could be screwing with me, you know? So it's like you begin to be more trusting, but sometimes that might be a bad thing. So keeping an eye on that's really, really important. I think defining boundaries is a sign of a really healthy hostship. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Man, I do say I appreciate that so much, don't I? Damn. When I was in high school, I invited several introverted people who had no friends to our social circle because they were not confident enough to ask or approach us. One of them years later told me, "You made the best decision of my life," which is probably the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me. Oh my God, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. I thank you on their account as well, because as an introverted person, I can definitely understand. It's hard. It's hard to make friends with people in high school, especially. People have cliques and everything that it's just rough. It can be rough. Mods can spot people who are likely to form unhealthy attachments. They are often obvious. Yep. We had a big conversation about that in the Discord the other day in VC. And the mods are aware now. I'm being a little bit more open. I feel bad about it still, so I'm getting used to it, but I feel more open to saying like, hey, this person likely either is below the age requirement or is somebody who is gonna probably cause a problem. Keep an eye on them and, you know, just remove them early on if something happens, you know. Cato, take care. That's okay. Sleep well, friend. Hopefully tomorrow goes well for you. It's very easy to associate someone as a friend who doesn't share said association back with you online. Yeah. And I think of examples being... Gabo was the one who gave that advice, by the way. I think of examples being easy to see are like Boof or Lydia or Oz, Boba, any of especially female presenting Yogscast members, but male ones too, you know. It can be like Ped as well, where they reply to your comment one time, or they say they love you one time in the chat, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, they must actually really be friends with me, you know. So I know Boba could probably tell you Boba could probably tell you in the first couple times that I spoke to them, I would be like, I'm sorry if I'm bothering you right now. I hope that it's okay that I'm talking to you, because I know I personally would be, you know, a little bothered if someone was trying to DM me, or at least creeped out, you know. And she's every time has just been super nice and been like, no, it's totally okay. Don't worry about it, you know. So, like, I'm very happy that she's able to give a very specific, like, no, this is okay. Don't worry about it. But also, she probably still has boundaries in place, right? So if that happened to me, and someone who I'd not known for very long came in asking questions and stuff randomly like that and wasn't aware that that was weird, I might be kind of weirded out by that, you know. I wasn't there, but I think I know who you mean. Yeah, Tuka, probably. I did put it in the mod chat, true. I have noticed that before Lime mentions a person in particular, I have usually had the same thoughts about them. Not always that clear to notice, though. Which is a great thing, though, Kyle. That's part of the reason why when I was picking people for mods and I was sorting through the applications, I did look for people who have the same kind of idea about how I see people. I am someone who gives a ton of chances for people to be good. I completely wholeheartedly believe people are inherently good. Sometimes they just mess up, you know. And so I'm very careful, but also like I let people have multiple chances if they're going to mess stuff up. But usually if you know someone's going to cause a problem, you really know someone's going to cause a problem. I have not been wrong about it yet, but I have definitely said, oh, maybe it's just me. I'll just leave it be for a while, and then a problem happens, and then they have to get removed. So the worst thing that could come out of that is someone who's really nice could have an off day, come in here for the first time, and we say, sorry, you just don't fit the vibe, and we kick them out, you know. But they were a really nice person, and we missed out on having them. That's my downside. That's something that I have to deal with, and that's like, that has to be okay. Because we, the mods and I, and the VIPs even, work to try to keep this place feeling like a safe space, because that's what it is meant to be, you know. A place that we can have discussions like this, you know, where without worried that someone's going to do something weird or say something weird. So, yeah, I picked Kyle for that reason, because Kyle sees people very similarly to how I see them as well. I have to use smoke signals to contact Sips. In your own house? Man, that's quite the marriage. My goodness. God damn it. Okay, I'm not saying that anymore. I don't want to offend by not calling you friend, but I also don't want to assume. Then I come across as super awkward, and several people have heard me do this in VC before. Yeah, and if you are ever worried about that stuff, you can ask. You can ask. I might feel awkward replying to that if people are like, are we actually friends? Or are we just like stream friends? Because stream friends still count as friends. That's a step above parasocial relationships for me. You have your friends in real life. You have friends online that you know you can talk to like they're in real life. You have stream friends who are people who are in your communities and stuff, and you like them and you want them to be, you know, happy and stuff, but you may not have a super close connection. And then you have people who you deal with and people who get banned, you know. It's worse when it's a larger group, true. I somehow missed that bit in mod chat, but I was right, Tuka. I know. Very good. Mod secrets. I've definitely been on both sides of the one-sided friendship. I understand the struggles, and I think within the most nerdy communities, yeah, more people are introverted than not. So when you get someone who is really extroverted, they can unintentionally cross boundaries or comfort levels, which is why we try to be so clear about them too, you know, because that can solve that issue really early on. I need to get some water. Void, I'm sorry I'm so slow to get to you, okay? I see your message now, though, so let's get to it now. I have a mental health question. One of my streamers I mod for has been taking a break from streaming for their mental well-being because they went through a very busy period with intent to come back. I want to check in, but feel unsure about how to do that. Any advice? Well, if they modded you, you know, they did it for a reason. They did it because they respect you and know that you are helping out the community. So if you have a question about, like, when they would be returning and that sort of thing, just out of general curiosity, or you want to make sure they're okay, I don't think there's anything wrong about just, you know, respectfully asking, you know, how's it going? Are you doing okay? Any ideas about what's going on? You know, I don't think that they would be offended by that if they modded you, you know, because that's an okay question to have. Just like my mods can ask me too, like, hey, you've been gone a week. Am I going to see you again? You know, or do I just go mod for somebody else? So I completely understand it. Let them decide when they want to open the dialogue. It's okay to be concerned, but respect the boundaries, and they'll be back when they're ready. Yeah, so that's a little bit different than what I said for sure. You can take any advice, of course, that you think is best. I agree with Jess about letting them open the dialogue too. So asking them first and foremost, like, is it okay to talk about this? And if they say no, you just respect it. But leading with the whole, like, I hope you're doing well. I hope this has been a restful period for you, all this stuff. That's probably the best thing you could do, right? True, I deal with all you. I deal with you, Weeders. No, that's a lie. I love Weeders. Anyway. Thank you for the lurk, Airden. Take care. Good luck. I wish I could ban people in real life. Sorry, I can't hear you anymore. Oh, you're on the ignore list. Oh, Goblin. Wouldn't that be so easy if you could? Too easy, though. Modding for someone other than Lime? Never. Tuka, you better unmod, like, yourself from those other 38 channels, or else. You got it. It can definitely be difficult, but trying to effectively communicate... Trying to effectively communicate what your boundaries are is so important, yes. For everything in life, yeah. Not just Twitch at all. I think a quick, hey, just checking in, hope everything's okay, should be fine and probably welcome. Yeah, I agree. I do want to check on their well-being first, more so than the streaming schedule. Then there you go. You're in a perfect headspace to do it. And I'm sure they won't be offended if you're just asking them how they are. And if they need time alone, then they'll tell you, right? At least I hope they will. But you never know. goblin mods for people too. Goblin mods here, right? I totally see the mod badge on Goblin. Okay. So that basically covered what I wanted to get through for like parasocial relationships involving the pandemic. We talked about family. We talked about the onset of it and just how quickly things popped off and how weird that was. And a big topic we talked about was self-reflection. Not you, Goblin. Not you, Goblin. There's two goblins here, you goob. Sorry, I gotta think about which one to call. Good God. Not you, Sorix. I was talking to Goblin 1. There we go. Two goblins. Oh, my head hurts. I can't do it. Where's our third one? We have a third one out there somewhere. Yeah, so we talked about all of that, which is what I mainly wanted to get to. The last idea, really, that I had on my mind... There are many goblins here. True. The main thing I had on my mind was the idea of self-reflection, which we talked a little bit about before, right? We said that with more time off and more time hanging out by yourself, you have so much more time to have, like, tons of self-reflection on the inside, right? But as we're getting out of the pandemic now, do you think that's going to change? Or do you think you're still going to be so involved with your self-reflections? Or will it take the back burner again to other things? I'm very curious. I'm kind of laughing because there's a person who got very clingy in a chat and would type things like, oh, streamer won't be tomorrow. How will I survive? That's usually a sign that, unless they put a kappa, that they probably don't fit in here. I'm just going to be honest. I am not anybody's god. I'm not anybody's savior. For God's sake, I'm so far from it, and you all know that. So, one thing I look out for very often is someone who immediately puts a streamer up on the pedestal. Not like a, oh, you do good stuff here, but like, oh my God, you're the best person on Twitch. I can't wait to come back. I love you so much. On the first day, and you're like, take it easy. What's a kappa? Kappa with a K? Kappa with a K? Did I do it wrong? Is it a capital K? It's a capital K. It's that head. It basically means sarcasm. That's all. I wanted to send you a DM through Discord once, so I sent you a friend request. Now I know why that didn't work because of your boundaries. I wasn't upset by it. Sapphire, I'm not actually sure if I saw that, but that might have been what it was. I want to tell you I love your streams and watch regularly, even though I'm not active in chat. Saying something similar in a smaller streamer's chat can be pretty intimidating to me. Gotcha. Oh, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And thank you for having the confidence to say that out here, too. I really appreciate the lurk. It means a lot to me. And I'm sorry if I didn't accept the friend request, too. Yeah, I definitely just wait to accept friend requests from people that I, like, if I'm talking to you, like, every day, I probably would friend you. But there are still some people that I don't. So I appreciate you not taking offense by that, though. Yeah, meaning satire or sarcasm. We do have Lime Kappa. Lime Kappa is all one word with a capital K, not a capital L. Corrective and preventive action, yes. Some streamers deservedly put themselves on a pedestal. Weeders, would that be you? Quick, hold on, let me give a shout out for Weeders9, the Rocket League king, the one who's definitely way better at Rocket League than I am. There you go, go follow Weeders. By the way, click on everybody's name in this chat because most people are streaming and you can follow everybody.
Awesome.
Follow everybody if you want. Shortest, thank you so much for giving a sub to Sapphite. Appreciate you, friend. That doesn't sound right? Too bad. Deal with it. But anyway. But yeah, I'm very curious about the idea of self-reflection, though. You know, are you going to, the moment that you stop, or, well, we're already out, right? We already went back to work and things like that. Are you being less self-reflective now, coming out of the pandemic, because you have more time to ignore it? Shall we have a shout-out train? No. Click on everybody. Don't make the mods do the work for you. The constant self-reflection, because that was all that was available, got a little maddening. I can attest to that. But I tend to angst, so I hope that the improvements I have made will continue. I imagine they will. You've always struck me as somebody who is reflective in a good way, you know, and doesn't let it get to you in a negative light, you know. But I'm proud of how far you've come. I'm proud of how far all of you have come. Don't click me, please. I stopped due to work. Sorix, it's okay. It's just a follow. If people want to. But of course, no one's mandated to follow here or follow anywhere, so that was a joke in case people didn't know. I'm definitely less self-reflective now that I have a job and lockdown restrictions in Wales are easing a bit, which I think is the natural progression, right? You go back to work, you go back to school, you go back to thinking about anything other than you, probably because you spent a year and a half with yourself, you know, more than you're used to doing. Oh, you don't get most of the self-doubt that I have had. What do you mean, Katie? Like, I don't see the self-doubt that you have had? Or are you saying I don't get self-doubt? Self-reflection is all I did before lockdown anyway? There you go. So you're in the same boat as before. I said two different things, Katie. I need to know which one you meant. Are you saying I don't get that you have self-doubt, or are you saying that I don't have self-doubt? Which one? You have not seen most of my self-doubt. Katie, I know that you are somebody who has self-doubt. You have been very open about that, and I appreciate that. I don't think that makes it a bad thing at all, though. You know, you still work and strive against it, and I think you do a great job. So, no negative self-talk. Not allowed. Not allowed at all. Yes. Anyway. Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah, no thanks needed. What was I going to say after that, though? For me, personally, right, as a musician, I tend to have a lot more self-reflection because of reflecting on, you know, am I showing the music the way that I want to? Am I playing it how I want to? Constantly criticizing. Like, that part's always going to be there. But self-reflecting on identity, self-reflecting on sexuality, self-reflecting on all that, that was something I could easily turn a blind eye to, you know, and just ignore and move on. I'll return to that thought in a second. Bandit King UK, thank you so much for the raid. How you guys doing? What were you doing today? Talk shows and podcasts, very, very nice. What were you guys talking about? I would love to hear. If you guys don't know me, I'm Lime. I play nostalgia games and piano. We're having a mental health chat about the pandemic in general. You're welcome to hang with us if you'd like, but no pressure, of course. How was the stream? What did you do? Tell us all about it. I want all the details. Also, I'm going to drink water now. Oh. Hopefully things went super well. Guys, make sure to check out Bandit King UK's podcast and talk show stuff. And if you like what you see, give them a follow. I'm sure they would love to see you. We will return to what Rox is saying, and then welcome in people if we see anybody from the raid. Raiders, take care of yourselves, though. Thank you so much for dropping by. Katie, send your self-doubt this way. I'll punch you right in the face. Yes, self-doubt can go away. Self-doubt can go away. My goodness. It's nice to have something else to focus on besides yourself. Yeah, I completely agree. So what I was saying for me then, right, was I definitely self-reflect on music stuff a lot, but I ignored a lot of stuff that was very personal to me because I had the distractions to do so, right? So in that case, when I get back to school in the next month, it's not that I'm going to put myself back on the back burner again, you know, in terms of personal reflection. It's more that I have to find the time to get that to happen, you know? Whereas before I had all the time in the world to handle that, and that is going to be a little bit more difficult for me. So I don't know if anyone else has similar things going on in terms of that. Howdy! Did a great live podcast with Wendy Goon. Nice! Wanted to share the love. Well, thank you so much for sharing the love. It's that would be their Twitch name too. Let's give a shout out for Wendy Goon as well. Guys, check out any of them. Any and both of them, please and thank you. Oh, or maybe they were just on the podcast with them. Sorry if I just jumped the boat there. What do you study? I study clarinet. Thank you very much for asking. Shortest, thank you for giving a sub to Bandit King. Shortest, too nice. Too nice. Bandit King, please enjoy your badge and your emotes, dude. I would love to know about the podcast. If you want to tell me what you guys talked about, feel free. But of course, no pressure. No pressure at all. That's why I don't give shoutouts, by the way, because when I give shoutouts, the people don't exist. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think we are probably getting to where you guys don't have a whole lot more to say. So if you have anything that you do want to talk about or anything specific you have questions about, feel free to ask, but I will give no pressure to you. We are coming up on 2 hours though, so as far as mental health stuff goes, we're probably almost done. We're probably almost done. Let me turn this down a little bit. It's a little too loud in my ear. Ducks, hello! Good to see you, friend. How you doing? Oh, I do say friend for everybody though, Katie. Now I'm remembering. Yeah, so if that tricks anybody, if I say friend, that's just a name that I say to everybody. I apologize if all of a sudden I tell you, hey, by the way, we're not like super close friends. Friend is just a nice inviting word, and sometimes it just comes out, you know? Same thing with saying love you lots and all that. If you want to continue discussing, feel free to use some of the new channels in the Discord. Yeah, we have event channel, which of course is for you to talk about things that may be negative in your life, just get a little bit of the negativity out. But please also be aware, we do have resources for you to use in there too, in the pins if you would like, but no pressure to do that. And also, we have an identity channel and a sexuality channel. If you feel comfortable discussing your identity or your sexuality in there, or having discussions about it, we would love to have you. If you do join the Discord, just let us know what your Twitch name is after you've read the rules and everything, and we can make sure that we get you a good old role so you can see everything else going on. I also use friend as well. Yeah, Indy, it's a very common thing for sure. Thank you, friends. Terms and conditions apply. I call you friend, but I don't want to assume for everyone else unless I have an actual connection. Fair. Very, very good idea. Very good idea. But yes, so all of that to say, the pandemic has been a bit of a wild ride for sure. And one thing that frustrates me, coming out of this with mental health stuff, is that the world was practically on fire, and still kind of is in a lot of ways. A lot of things are still not back to where they should be, and people need to get vaccinated and wear their masks and do all the things they should do so we can get the heck out of this. I will not ever forget, I guarantee you, I will not ever forget seeing CNN on day after day in the beginning of the pandemic in my front room and just watching the number just go up so much, thousands to 10,000s to 100,000s to millions of people who got COVID, and then the 100,000s of people who have died from COVID, and it just was a lot, that alone, you could be the least empathetic person probably in the world and still see that and probably feel bad. I hope so, because that's horrible. That's a lot of people that are just gone now, that were here 2 years ago when this mess started. So mentally, in terms of keeping yourself healthy, it's hard to get past that without also feeling like you're ignoring that it happened. That's where I get stuck. And I'm hopeful that as I get back to school and things go back to some semblance of normalcy for me, whatever that is, that I can find a way to, grieve over that, but also move on from it too. Because a lot of things happened and you can't change it, and it has been horrible, but at some point you do kind of have to move on from it too. And Rox, yeah, stopping watching the news can be better for your mental health because it helps you to not see every negative thing in the world, but also it can be negative to not watch the news too, It depends. Flying to the UK in a few hours. Oh, fingers crossed for you that everything's okay. Knocking on wood. Hopefully it all goes well. I believe in you. UK has had its so-called Freedom Day today. Yeah, what a stupid name for that. Jeez. Everything's opening back up. I've decided to call it Freedom Day 1 because I will not make the mistake of optimism. Oh, God. All my positive thoughts going out to the UK right now because I saw tweet after tweet about that this morning. That's horrible. That's a horrible thing. Also, Void, I got you a roll, friend. You should be able to see everything now. Pack your shorts. It's very hot. It's hot everywhere. It's odd, but still definitely happening daily for me. Yeah, my boss, who doesn't even work in the main office, is currently in the hospital. Oh my God. Hopefully they get healed soon. I also use friend generally. It shows positive intentions far more than it shows friendship. I would not generally say hello friend to a very close in real life friend. It would feel oddly distant. Hey, you make a good point. I guess I don't really call my actual, in real life close friends. Hi, friend, how you doing? I don't really do that. Oh. Siggy Bones, I live in South Spain. I'm packing new hoodies. There you go. Oh, Jess, please, just be careful, okay? Don't let the odd people get to you. I can breathe when I get home, and that's so much better. Yeah, from not watching the news. I get it. I get my news but tiny bits on Twitter. I could dive deeper if I need to. 24 hours of faces blabbing about how terrible everything is not good. Yeah. Watching newscasts at all are always biased, by the way, too, but also just not a fun time. Not a fun time for anybody. Holy crap. Then wants to talk. My mom, on the other hand, eats up the news all day and then wants to talk to you about it. No! Tell her no. Tell her she's not allowed. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do, because it's been almost 2 hours. Let's take the next 5 or so minutes to wrap this up. Give me any thoughts that you have of stuff that you want to share or questions you have, and then we can move on from that. I'm going to do a little bit of marbles, maybe a little bit of marbles, just to end it so we have something nice to relax on, or to end on. I also got to make sure that my thing is set up in the right place, too. There we go. Make that my main display. Oh, God. Oh, Streamlabs didn't like that. Sorry, Streamlabs. I'm very careful with who/what I follow on Twitter because I don't want news unless I'm looking for it. Just tell me about space. Oh, tell me more about space. I love space pictures, especially because I know that they're not real. Marbles. Yes. Oh, very, very humid. Yeah. I'm a Brit in Spain. Took a while to get used to the heat there. How long have you been there if you feel welcome saying? Sorry, I didn't know how to say that. When we were allowed to take the masks off here, I had already told my boss I was just going to enjoy it while it lasts because I'm sure we'd have to put them back on. I still wear them. I still wear them in public. I feel. It's taken a few years for my friends and family to understand that I do not want to know all the terrible that's going on. The Depends on who you are. Oh, very cool. One big thing I think is important is to not be afraid to talk to a professional and get help with mental health. Once I broke the stigma barrier in my mind, things got much better for you. I'm so happy to hear that. If there's anybody out there who has some sort of stigma towards therapy, I will be the first to tell you there can be nothing wrong with you, quote unquote, in your head, and you could still get some help from therapy. Therapy at its base level is talking to somebody in general, just literally just talking to somebody. And it might be somebody who is unbiased and doesn't see you, like is not in your personal life, so they won't be biased. It's a really healthy thing to have. It really is. So if you can go to therapy at least once, trust me, it's not going to be a negative thing unless you find, of course, a negative therapist. But odds are you're probably going to find somebody good. If you have been struggling with anything during the pandemic, mental health-wise, in terms of depression or suicidal tendencies or anything like that, self-harm, topics of just being isolated or being lonely, all these things, there are plenty of people out there. Talk to them, okay? You can talk to us too. We are happy to listen to you whenever you ask if it's okay to vent to that kind of thing. But of course, there's only so much that our boundaries will let us do, of course, too, right? So sorry, I choked on my words there. You also have to be aware that there are people who are professionally equipped to handle things like that. So please don't just try to get through it, and don't try to just get off talking to your friends about it too. You gotta also go see somebody. It'll be a really good thing for you. It took a while to overcome the stubbornness and fear of doing that in the first place. There's a lot of fear towards therapy for sure. Hi Boops, how you doing? Still required to wear the masks at work, so I'm just prepared for the next year or so. Can't be a bad thing, Katie. I moved to Spain for the first time in like 2017. Went back to the UK for a couple years, then back to Spain. Oh, geez. What makes you keep going back, if you don't mind me asking? Also important to note that it's fine if you don't get along with the therapist or try another. You'll find someone eventually. Yeah, if you just don't get along with them right off the bat, that's okay. You can just move to another. You don't have to say, I'll stick that out. Please don't do that. I passed up some who I didn't get along with. Just don't give up on finding a good one. Yep. Your parents live there. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Oh, that's a lot of back and forth, though. Holy cow. Okay. Yeah, I would say that's probably a good thing to leave it on. Please, please get the help that you need. Do not torture yourselves in trying to handle it by yourself, because, I mean, there's no need. You have these people have these jobs for a reason, right? They're there to help you, and the only way they can help you is if you are honest with them. But, anyway, thank you very much for having this little chat with me. I really appreciate having a little bit of a mental health Monday with you all. I was very stressed today. I went to go do some physical therapy right before this, and driving freaks me out, so I was very, all tight and crumpled up when I got here, and now I'm doing a whole lot better, just being able to have time to talk to you guys and listen to you guys as well. So if I did more talking today than listening, I will say I apologize. Mostly it's just because I'm reading your guys' stuff out loud, but hopefully it was useful to you in some manner, and I'm so happy to meet Void as well as Ziggy. I hope you guys have been doing super, super well. Lovely to meet you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being a part of it. Therapy has been a big help for you the past 11 years. PTSD, bipolar, ADHD, and autism make a package. That's a whole lot of stuff, dude, and you are doing absolutely well with it. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for sharing that. I'm really proud of you. Proud of you for taking care of yourself. Thank you, Ducks. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tuka. Great job moderating and hosting the discussion. Yeah. Hopefully you recover from the amount of reading. Oh, goodness. So much. So much reading. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. I'm just glad you guys can sit there and listen to me yap for 2 hours. I don't know how you don't get tired of my voice, honestly. But do you guys want to do just a little bit of marbles? Maybe just a one Grand Prix of 8 races, and then we can be all set today? That'll round us off to about 2 hours. Thanks, Manic. Love you lots, dude.
Whoa,
gotta give a shout out for Manic.
Awesome.
Shortest, thank you very much for gifting a sub to Megastar. Was that a random one, or did you do that? That was very nice of you. Thank you so much, dude. Give a shout out for Manic Socratic. Please go follow them. A fantastic retro streamer with so much production. So much awesome production. You want to see what they're doing over there. Super cool. They were doing some Wind Waker the last time that I saw them. They did some Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, which is a great game as well. Yeah, please go check them out. You will love his stuff. He's really great. Really great dude. Mega, enjoy your badge and emotes, friend. Shortest, thank you so much for giving the sub to Mega. That was really kind of you. Okay, let's do some marbles to end it all off, okay? I'm going to move this over and make sure that nothing else hopefully is in the way. It's probably going to show you the Elgato. It did. That's okay. Let's turn off the Elgato and put on... I knew it was going to do that. I knew it was going to do that. I had my fingers crossed and everything. Sad. Don't look at that. You didn't see it. It's gone. Okay, anyway, I gotta pull that back over there too, because it's just gonna tell you what my name is. Oh, it's updating. Why is it updating? Oh, fuck. Nobody look. That's fine. Shortest is so nice. Very true. You didn't see Streamlabs? Good. I'm glad. Nothing to see here. Exactly. Yeah, don't worry about it. All right. Marbles is figuring itself out. While updating, it might lag a little bit in the frame. So if it lags for a second, that's what it's from. But it probably won't. It just needs to take a second to update itself, I guess. The innards of lime. Very revealing. What? What? What does that even mean? Best strobe dancing moves. I don't have those. I can't dance. Therefore, I will not try. Guys, get out of the welcome chat. Guys, get out of the welcome chat. Oh. I was reading the past welcome chat. I'm dumb. It scrolled up to the part where everyone was like, quick, Lime's looking, get out. That's really funny. Sorry. I'm opening up Steam right now to get things up and running. Thank you for pinging the Discord, Jess. Appreciate ya. Oh, Jess. Got you a roll, friend. You should be able to see everything. Take care, Ziggy. Thank you so much for hanging, dude. It was great to see you. Absolutely. Thank you very much for being a part of this discussion, too. And also just coming over on a raid in general. That's super cool of you. I do appreciate it a lot. Please get some good rest, okay? Marble says it's about 100% done with its update. But is it actually, though? Is it actually, though? I don't know. I am not in welcome chat. Good. Stay out of the welcome chat. Not allowed to be there. Oh. We got a Jess? Yeah. Oh, hello? Marbles, are you okay?
Whoa, look at that.
Marbles. Awesome. Ducks! Thank you so much for giving us up to Void Milo. I really do appreciate it. My goodness. Void, we've been so happy to have you here today. Hopefully you had a good time. I am also 100% done with the Marbles update. What? I don't understand. 8 minutes? 8 minutes? That can't be right. That can't be right at all. We might just have to end it there if that's the case. I'm not going to wait that long to do Marbles. Marbles! Marbles! Oh. Accidentally clicked on the wrong thing there. I know, Indy. It's sad. I want to do it, but also... It's okay. I mean, I'm going to look at my phone, though, to see who the heck is doing stuff. Okay. I know what we're going to do. Probably. Hold on. I need to make sure that they're actually live still. Because I do have an idea of someone I want to see. We are, unfortunately, not going to be able to do Marbles because it's not updated, and that's my bad for not being ready with it. Sorry about it. GeoGuessr have no Marbles. I don't have the mental energy, unfortunately, for it. Marbles is nice because I don't have to control it. I can just look at it. But I will be seeing you guys soon anyway. Who would have thought Marbles would be that to me? I know, it's sad that it is, too. I don't want to leave already. But I kind of have to. Okay, hold on. Let me turn... Hopefully this doesn't get me DMCA'd. Please don't DMCA me. I just want to say hi to somebody real quick. There we go. I muted it in time. Okay. They've been going for almost 4 hours. They might be okay still. We got time if we're able to get over there real fast. I'd lose at Marbles anyway. Guys, I'm going to kill the song again. Oh no. There was no fade. There was no fade. Now what? Sad. This happens. Anyway. Oh, that can't... Oh my goodness. That music must have been really loud that whole time. I'm very concerned about it. Rest in peace to the song, though. That's okay. Guys, if you could stick around for the raid, that would mean a whole lot to me. Please and thank you. No pressure, though, of course. This is a very short stream. 2 hours across the board, though. I was super happy to be here with you guys. Hopefully, if you like these Just Chatting streams, you guys can tell me in Suggestions tab in Discord. If you want to see any more of these, I would love to actually have some more topics picked out. Maybe do some music ones soon. Where we just talk about some stuff with music theory. Or, I don't know, anything. Music in general, music tastes. I'd love to talk more about pretty much anything. So, yeah. Love you lots, Gabo. Jess, you would win. You would have won. Anyway, guys, we're going to go raid Dapper Dame. We're going to do it. We're gonna do it. Dapper Dame is a wonderful, wonderful human being. Since I'm thinking about the pandemic and everything, thank you, Ducks. Since I'm thinking about the pandemic and everything, they were one of the first people that I followed on Twitch. Has the most pleasant streams you ever did see. Super calming, very, very cute. Loves plants. Loves plants. Seriously, if you know anything about plants over there, tell her. She would love to hear about it. But she is just wonderful. Has cute glasses. Does cosplays. Does all kinds of stuff. Just overall great human being. And has been in here a number of times before to be super nice with their raids too. So let's go give them some love. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you, let's see, the schedule says Thursday at 2 p.m. To be determined on what the heck we're doing. I have no idea yet. We'll figure out. I'll be working on Thursday morning, so I'll be coming straight off of that. Maybe do some more Skyward Sword. I don't know. We got to finish that game. But anyway, let's raid the right person. Raid Dapper Dame. Super cute human being. Trust me. You'll love them. You'll love her. I guarantee it, or your money back. I don't have any money to give you, unfortunately, so anyway. Thank you so much for coming over with the raid. I'm so proud of you guys. Oh my gosh. It makes me so happy when I set the raid message and everybody who's here in the chat agrees to doing it, because a lot of times you watch that number cut in half and you're like, oh, damn, sad. But yes, Dapper Dame's awesome. We're gonna go see her right now. As always, stay safe, healthy, beautiful, happy, all that good stuff. Drink some fucking water. You have to. You have to. I said you have to, okay? Love you lots. Thank you so much for hanging. Bye-bye.